Did you know that there are around 34,000 species of fish, 11,000 species of birds, and over 1 million species of insects? Hello, and welcome to my channel. Life's diversity is astonishing. And in this series, we're diving into how it all began. As a chemist, engineer, and physician, I've always been fascinated by the evolution of life, from non-living matter to the vast array of organisms we see today. Along the way, we'll also look at diseases caused by microbial or genetic mutations inherited from this process, as well as some of the oddities and flaws in human anatomy. First, let's journey back to the origins of life itself. Scientists are exploring the possibility of life on other planets, inspired by the James Webb Space Telescope's images of water on distant worlds without any solid proof yet. Therefore, let's focus on life on our planet, Earth. Life as we know it started billions of years ago, but it didn't happen all at once. Most scientists agree that the universe began around 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang, a colossal event that caused space-time to expand rapidly. As the universe cooled, quarks emerged and combined to form protons, neutrons, and electrons. These particles gave rise to the simplest elements, hydrogen and helium. Gravity pulled these elements together, creating the first stars. Heavier elements were created through nuclear fusion as a result of the extreme temperatures generated by supernova explosions. These elements mixed, collided, and reacted, ultimately leading to the formation of galaxies, including our own Milky Way. About 8 billion years later, our solar system, located in the Orion arm of the Milky Way galaxy, formed as a result of gas and dust coalescing around our Sun, forming planets, including Earth. Initially, Earth was a molten mass until a Mars-sized asteroid collided with it, creating debris that would form our Moon. Comets and asteroids brought ice that created the first oceans. At that time, Earth had a single landmass called Pangaea. Over hundreds of millions of years, Pangaea broke apart, forming the continents we see today. This ongoing tectonic activity has played a crucial role in the survival and evolution of some species, but we'll explore that later. Now that the Earth has settled down and all conditions were just right, let's explore how life emerged from non-living matter. Imagine Earth around 3.4 billion years ago, a world covered in pristine lakes and lagoons rich with simple molecules, like carbon dioxide, ammonia, and methane, and a variety of minerals. Over the next billion years, fueled by energy sources such as lightning, volcanic eruptions, and UV radiation, these molecules underwent countless chemical reactions. Gradually, more complex molecules began to emerge, including amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, nucleotides, the components of DNA and RNA, and fatty acids, key to forming lipids. Lipids, in particular, played a critical role. In water, these fat-like molecules naturally form membrane-like structures, tiny bubbles that create a protected space for other molecules to gather. Over time, these lipid membranes surrounded essential molecules like proteins and nucleic acids, forming protocells, early structures that set the stage for true cells. Within these protocells, life's chemistry took hold, allowing them to grow and even divide. Why do cells divide? Before cells can reproduce, they need to divide. As cells grow, their surface area doesn't keep up with their volume, meaning they struggle to get enough nutrients and remove waste. Dividing helps solve this by increasing the surface area relative to volume. Here's a mathematical equation for the surface area and volume of a sphere, which can also be applied to a cell. The surface area of a sphere, S, is given by 4 pi radius squared, and the volume, V, of a sphere is given by 4/3 pi radius cubed. The ratio of surface area to volume is 4 pi radius squared over 4/3 pi radius cubed, or 3 over radius. This equation shows that as the cell's radius increases, the surface area to volume ratio decreases. When this ratio gets too low, the cell divides to maintain efficient nutrient and waste exchange. Let's explore what happened when these cells divide. In nutrient-rich environments, these single cells are dividing rapidly. In each division, they have to replicate their DNA. Each cell contains between 500,000 to 10 million nucleotides, and during DNA replication, roughly one mistake, or mutation, occurs for every 100,000 nucleotides assembly. These mutations are passed down to the next generation, accumulating over time. This gradual buildup of mutations can ultimately lead to the emergence of entirely new species of cells. The types of DNA mutations involving either a single nucleotide or a block of nucleotide swapping. These mutations include insertions, extra nucleotides added; deletion, extra nucleotides removed; duplications, DNA segments copied multiple times; inversions, DNA segments reversed within the sequence; translocation, DNA segments move to new locations. The mutation and evolution in higher organisms will be discussed in upcoming videos. Most mutations are neutral, causing no effect, while others can be harmful and lead to diseases, and some are beneficial, giving organisms a survival advantage. Over generations, these mutations accumulate, driving the diversity of life and the process of evolution. Those with advantageous adaptations survive, a principle known as survival of the fittest, while others go extinct. In addition to mutations, cells evolve through a process called endosymbiosis. Imagine this: large cells began engulfing smaller ones as a food source, but sometimes, instead of digesting them, they kept the smaller cells inside as partners. Over time, these smaller cells evolved into specialized structures within the larger cell, becoming what we now call organelles, like mitochondria, which retain their own DNA. Through gene mutations and the process of endosymbiosis, simple prokaryotic cells transformed into complex eukaryotic cells, the building blocks of all multicellular life. These genetic mutations have been the driving force behind evolution, enabling organisms to adapt, diversify, and become more complex over billions of years. Let's dive into one of the most exciting steps in evolution, when single cells started working together to form colonies. These early clusters of eukaryotic cells were a major leap toward multicellularity. In each colony, cells began to specialize. Outer cells took on the job of gathering food, while inner cells focused on support and maintenance, making the colony more efficient and resilient. Now and then, pieces of these colonies would break off, forming new colonies and helping the species adapt and thrive across different environments. Some of these early organisms developed soft, flexible bodies, which allowed for movement but also made them vulnerable to drying out. Over time, protective structures like hard shells evolved, enabling certain species to survive on land. Fossils of these early soft-bodied organisms give us a fascinating glimpse into the complex life forms that existed millions of years ago. Now, fast forward to the rise of hard-shelled animals, a critical development that helps species retain moisture and survive under the sun. About 500 million years ago, the first jawless fish emerged, marking the beginning of vertebrates. Over time, cartilaginous fish, like sharks and rays, appeared, evolving with flexible skeletons made of cartilage. But in the mineral-rich oceans, something incredible happened. Carbon dioxide combined with calcium to form calcium carbonate, allowing certain species to develop harder, bone-like structures. This transformation set the stage for bony tissues and, eventually, the evolution of jaws, which took feeding efficiency to a whole new level. This advancement drove a rapid diversification, leading to bony fish, the most varied and successful group of vertebrates, shaping marine and freshwater ecosystems across the globe. Stay tuned to discover how these bony fish took the monumental leap from water to land, a game-changing move that shaped life on Earth as we know it.